Hey, peace, boxing fans. This is your man Wood, host of the Bite Down Boxing Podcast, editor in chief, if you want to say that, at bitedownboxing.com. And then also, I just want to stress, I don't always make it clear, but the Bite Down Boxing Podcast is available. You can download or listen to it on the Team Left Jab network. I think it's Team Left Jab or leftjaballnightboxing.com. Some of the thoughts that I do here I try to keep them shorter, even though they go 15 minutes. But some of them, I go in depth on my entire thought, either in an article or on the podcast. So some of the stuff, the comments that you make where you think my point is one way, I've really fully fleshed it out in the podcast. So I'm going to quit defending myself on some stuff because I already know what I've said. And sometimes I come back and put the links in the description if possible. So that's that. And then I'm getting ready to talk about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder again. Not trying to fan the flames here. Just I feel like some of us, again, the heavyweight division is not the end-all be-all for me. My attention towards boxing does not flow down from how healthy the heavyweight division is doing. There's plenty of other divisions and fighters that I follow, like, appreciate, and that make my boxing calendar really full. So I have no dog in this fight. I do not care if this fight ever gets made, to be honest. There's plenty of action, great action, to watch all over the boxing landscape. So, but it's almost like the two factions here, the Team Wilder or the Pro Wilder and the Pro Joshua, are so dug in and just willing to ignore a lot of basic stuff, and then definitely don't give either fighter the respect or any acknowledgement of anything that they do. So it's just sitting here, stuck in this vicious cycle of tearing down the other man, regardless, just because I can't get the fight. So I'm not really trying to help us out here. This might be one of the last times I talk on this stuff. Obviously, so I'm gonna keep it simple. 2 notes. For some of us here, I'm struggling with the fact that we're ignoring basic business principles or basic negotiation plays in how we keep addressing this thing or how we keep following along. The one major thing, and this is from both sides to try to show my neutrality, but the one thing is I see from a lot of pro Joshua people is Wilder should just take the fight. He should just take the offer. He should just take the deals. Immediately, I struggle with how any man or female should tell another individual what they should go to work for. Like, how do you feel comfortable to just speak for what another person should do for how they make a living? And then us as fans in all sports, we insert ourselves into the mix on, I would do it. If they were offering me $10 million, I'd take that. But you're coming from making $35,000 or $20,000 to, maybe $80,000 salary. And so I had something here. This was on an article on CNBC.com. You may say that they're trash. You might. But I wanted to know, how do everyday people handle how you negotiate for your salary or for raises? Because that's what Wilder is essentially doing. He's asking for the cut that he's comfortable with, that's acceptable for him and his team, when they look at the whole pie that can be divided here. And in this article, it says almost 2/3 of people never have asked for a raise, according to recent survey of over 160,000 people by career site PayScale. I'll repeat, almost 2/3 of people never have asked for a raise. personally, because I'm working in a field that's really not it's probably not the field that I really could excel in. I've never been good enough at my job to even go in and request a meeting and pitch a raise. Not many people that I work with, even the ones who do better at my job than I do, not many of them have ever really went and asked for a raise in the middle of the year. Typically, you get your review and then you just accept what they gave you. The majority of us, 2/3 of us. So a lot of us don't even have this. We're not even doing this in our personal life for our own money to sit here and say what Deontay Wilder should or shouldn't accept. Professional athletes, entertainers, people that are their own company. You like the line from Jay-Z, I'm a businessman, or whatever it is, but he's a business and a businessman, was what he was saying, the gist of it. Most of us are not in this position to weigh these things out and take stands for what we want to be paid. Deontay Wilder is in a position, whether you like it or not, to say what he is going to go to work for. It does say of those who took the plunge and asked for more money, 70% of them reported receiving some type of increase after they asked for a raise. So, like I said, that maybe you say this point is trash, but like I said, it's hilarious to me that we as everyday people would sit and insert ourselves in a situation with maybe $150, $200 million at play. What do you know about that? Really, if we're keeping it a buck. Let me move on to my second point. Joshua didn't take the $50 million deal from or offer from Team Wilder. Whatever you make of that. I mean, I think it's foolish that they negotiated all or tried to negotiate a lot of this on social media. But you know, it is what it is. My main point is, if that $50 million was contingent on the fight happening on U.S. soil, and you're pro Wilder, why? Why would they agree to that? Like, before that, why would your expectation be that Joshua would agree to that? Again, you're ignoring what you choose to ignore here. And I thought Joshua spoke to it very well last night. I thought he addressed it on the DAZN broadcast, speaking with, who was that? Chris Mannix. Obviously, it's DAZN, it's home team. It is, they're not trying to prosecute him publicly for us. But when asked about it, he said it simply. We worked hard to build something in the UK. They built him in the UK. This is a plan. This is where Eddie Hearn, in my opinion, bash him or not, he showed the initiative. However you do or don't believe in, whatever level you do or don't believe in Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn took this particular person, invested in him. They've made all the moves that they've made, whether you like them or not, or respect them or not, whether they're credible or not. They did all of this to get to where he currently is. His stature or status in the boxing world. That's just the facts. Now he sits here with his 4 belts, one of them being, of one of the lower sanctioning bodies. I think that's the IBO. But he said it out of his own mouth. We worked hard to establish what we've created here in the UK. So regardless of what he said in the video, give me $50 million and I'll do it. And then they came through with the $50 million. Okay, but then when we go to take it to the table and really discuss it and weigh out what we're going to do, obviously they would not fight in America. Now, if you want to say that's ducking, if you want to say it was a handshake agreement that they didn't follow up on, shout out to Ali Voso, who we had a comment back and forth on YouTube. If that's your expectation and that's how you want to look at it, I respect that. But just because you want the fight, it's not talking to Ali, but just because different individuals on both sides want this fight, it's going to happen when it happens. And I don't think it's happening in April, but I believe at some point in time, based on all the information that we have, all the variables in this equation, I think Deontay, the onus is ultimately going to fall on the shoulders of Deontay Wilder of what he's willing to compromise with. Unless the UK fight fans stop showing up for fights. That's just how I think it is. So I'm getting ready to do a live stream, I believe, on last night's card. Tried to keep this short, just over 11 minutes. I probably didn't solve anything here, but some of the, like I said, looking at some of the comments and the people that are dug in very firmly on where they stand with this. I don't know how you disrespect the other camps, what they're trying to do. They're acting on their own volition. Like I say, I salute Deontay Wilder for identifying an alternative for him to go find a deal more fitting to what his goals are. With making the fight with Fury. So he made a play, and now we have to see what goes on with the rematch. 325,000 pay-per-view buys. Do they do it again? Does Tyson Fury say, I'm not fighting in America? You come over here? That's probably more of an immediate situation than dealing with Anthony Joshua, is how can we flip this rematch? So, like I said to some of the pro Joshua people, all I can really do is see what happens, what name is put in the blank for April 13th. I'm not going to argue with you on what's what and what's not and whose resume is whatever and all of that garbage. Whose name do they put in the blank? And are you comfortable with that name? I suspect for the pro Joshua people, whatever name goes in there, that you'll rock with it. And that's great if you're happy with that. So again, man, let me get on out of here. Sorry for taking up your time. Like I said, I that's how I look at this thing. It's not that serious for me. Like I said, I have no dog in this fight. I have no skin in this game. And I'll say it again. Even maybe a little since some people didn't hear it in the last video, I favor Anthony Joshua in that fight. At this point, I would favor him being more all around boxer, keeping his emotions, and his focus and everything together, his ability to follow game plans and execute. I favor him a little bit more going into that fight. It's still a pick'em to me, but I don't hate Anthony Joshua. Just because I'm in America and speaking with the accent that I have, I don't instantly dislike Anthony Joshua. I don't know. Like AJ said, I don't know what more I can say. So look, I'm out of here, man. Like I said, if you can check out the live stream I'm getting ready to do, I think I'm going to do it. I might be out of energy now. Hopefully you had a great fight weekend. The Canelo and Fielding fight was what it was always going to be, wasn't it? I'm out of here, though. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button for me. And, leave a comment if you feel compelled to do so. 1.